It's truly up and down. I mean, I don't say this lightly because I don't share this a lot with a lot. I don't share this with a lot of people, really. But there are times where I'm like, I just want to end it. I just want to, can I just end myself? There are, like, truly, I
Wait,
struggle.
you went dark so fast. Well, hold on. Like end
Yeah,
yourself or end things?
and myself, like,
Oh,
We are heroes and dreamers. We are restless believers, stronger than ever. Never say never. Don't look back now. Don't look back now.
Oh, I also have one more thing about Meg, just to add. So Meg and I used to be enemies, or
Sisters and brothers, finding our place and running the race. We'll take our chance and seize the moment. Hold on tight and don't let go of all your hopes and dreams that light the way.
ladies and gentlemen, it's a wrap. Welcome to another episode of All Abroad Podcast. And we are wearing our reds today because it's February and it's the
yeah.
month of love. Kat, can you believe like this is our second like Valentine season? Like I'm so proud we've been doing this. It's hard
A
sometimes.
year now. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I just listened to Lewis House, School of Greatness podcast. He just, answered questions from a lot of listeners from around the world about his 9 years of experience doing the School of Greatness podcast. And I think about that, and he is so right. Like, how many people out there are actually really consistent with one thing, right?
Yeah.
And sure, like maybe things can come and go in waves, right? Like, not like, maybe we'll do this for the next 5 years. That would be great, right? That would be awesome. And some people can drop off after 5 years, and that's okay if it's not part of their journey anymore or their goals. But I am looking at us and we're like, okay, we're 1 year in. We're just barely scratching the surface, guys.
Yes, barely. And I feel like and you're right about consistency. I think when we first decided to do this, I just told myself, because before that already wanted a podcast. It's just I didn't want to do it by myself.
Right.
So this opportunity came. I'm like, yes, I'm latching onto this with dear life. So even now, like when I'm super busy and just a little I guess just a little windows to our lives or whatever. But this past week, 2 weeks, I've been so busy. I don't have any notes prepared today, but we just talked before we press record and we know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But no matter how busy life gets, I'm trying to always try to make sure that we get back to the podcast, because Kat's busy, I'm busy, the moms are busy, and Meg's busy. Meg's busy. Everyone's busy.
But the good thing about this is we get to do the podcast, but also hang out. Like, we actually carve time. Like, I mean, this morning too, I was like, I don't want to do this, but at the same time, I'm like, I get to hang out. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
That's all I got to think about is I get to hang out with my friends and it's going to be great.
Yeah. And these podcasts that we do, it gives me energy because I consider myself as a sapiosexual. So I love getting to know what you're thinking. So the questions we ask each other, the way you guys answer it, I don't know, that gives me energy. It gives me life to get to know you guys better. And we've been friends since, I don't know, first grade. I was going to say since diapers. That's not true.
And I love that too, because we've been friends for a very long time, but like these interviews literally give me a deep sense of like even more of an understanding of each other, if that makes sense, because I'm learning more, right?
Yeah.
I feel like we've hung out so much more just because of this podcast. So for people out there who are friends with each other, maybe if you guys want to start something, whatever that may be, projects, I really recommend it, because at the end of our days, our closest friends are going to be the ones that are going to be right by our side. So might as well do life with them.
Yeah, be productive together. I think it's so super healthy, in my opinion, at least. And speaking of healthy, today's topic is going to be about love, and it's specifically going to be about loving ourselves. Like, I want to ask Kat, let's start light. What are 5 things you love right now?
5 things I really love right now. playing the piano. I love, love, love. I've just like been finding this newfound sense of joy and loving it. I really love teaching. It's been such a joy. And I feel like I've really found what I want to do for the next 30 years. I really want to I want to grow this studio that I have and train other teachers to do the same thing that I'm doing. I love five things. Gosh, I love the park that I live next to. I love that I get to walk to it, and the library that's next to it. That's just amazing. I just love my walks to the library and running when I decide to run. I hate running, but I'm trying to run because it's important. Of course, I love my cats. Like that's just never ending love for them. I don't know where I would be without them right now.
Yeah. Are you in 4? So you have your last one?
Yeah, I'm at 4. And my last one would be
last but not the least.
I truly love my life. Like, I mean, it's not perfect, no one's life is perfect, but I feel like I'm really, really loving that I'm able to use my life as a service to other people, that there's actually tangible things that I see where I'm able to impact people's lives. So yeah.
Nice. So as you were talking, I'm like, I didn't prepare my 5 one, so this is gonna come right out of the blue as well. The 5 things I love right now. I started painting again. It's like an itch that I've been wanting to scratch, I want to say for the last year, maybe 2. And I was watching a teleserie and the main character was an artist. She was painting murals, and right away I'm like, that's it. I go on blick.com and ordered all my stuff, Amazon. Everything came, and I wish I could turn this camera around, but I'm a little tight with space. But I like got my easel, like everything, like, because I used to have stuff, I don't have them anymore, so now I have to buy everything new again. So I love painting right now, and I decided I'm gonna paint things that makes me feel at home. So my first painting is like Bahay Kubo.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Did you see my message? Maybe I sometimes
maybe you dreamt it.
Yeah, maybe I dreamt it. I said, was that you, Sweet? Is that yours? Something like that. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
So yeah, I decided to paint things that make me feel home. I don't know whatever that means, whether it's motherland, home, the Philippines, or I don't know. So it's
chicken in a salad. You're gonna paint chicken in a salad,
right? Chicken. We're gonna kill you and eat you and do an. Oh, sorry for all the vegans.
I am trying to be vegan. Okay,
it'll make you guys cry. Okay, that's only one. Let me get going. Number 2, I love to dance. And specifically Zumba, because I think, and this is where you'll find some similarities between me and Kat, because Zumba I get to teach and I get to dance. So like I love that feeling, and I love being on stage. So I guess that goes hand in hand, dancing and being on stage. No, actually, let me make that separate. So I love Zumba, and I love to teach Zumba. And then 3rd, I love performing. I love being on stage. I always have. So you put me on stage, like I'll go for it. One time at the Kumu mixer, Kumu USA mixer, they're like, who's gonna they brought the karaoke machine, and they're like, the first one to sing gets a gift card. And not that I really need a gift card, but I'm very competitive, like I want to get that gift card. so I'm like, me, I'll sing, I will survive. And then my disclaimer was like, I'm not a singer, but I'm a performer. So I performed the hell out of that song, like started my back against the audience. Anyway, so I don't know, I just love probably how we grew up, right?
Yep.
So that's 3. 4, I love the pace of my life right now, I guess, like how my work is going, how my side hustles, like opportunities are arising like out of nowhere. I'm not doing or straining to get these opportunities, and that feels good. And then last, I love my alone times lately. So those are 5 things I love right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was gonna ask Kat, when she said, when you said, I love to teach, what is it about teaching that you love? Like, if you can expand more.
I think for me, I've always been a teacher. Like I told my husband, Lee, that no matter how much I perform, no matter how much I travel all around the world, and you impact people through that too. I understand that when I'm out there on stage and I am a part of an amazing show, it gives people joy, right? It inspires people to also live a life that's full for them as well. But performing, sometimes it's not as tangible of an impact that you see. Like, of course, like when I was performing at Aladdin as the magic carpet, we would have meet and greets after, and then you would see the guests and you would get to hug them, and you would get to take pictures with them. And with social media, they would, take photos of you, post it, and they would say things that they love about the show and how much the show has maybe inspired them to create something or change their lives and all that. So yeah, that's tangible. But in a sense, when you get that one-on-one connection, I mean, I don't teach privates. I teach very, very few private students, but a lot of my students are in group settings. But it's still like a small group. It's like 2 to 5 people, 2 to 6 students. And when it's that tangible, where I literally see them from day one when they're started and then where they are right now, and you're like, wow, like it's amazing. But I think the other part of it is that I get to teach a method that is so unlike any other. That is so effective, and where parents are like, I don't know what you're doing, but my kids love piano and my adults love piano too. And to hear that and to come from a background of traditional method where everybody I knew in my piano studio, including myself, hated piano, right? It was like the dragging us to lessons. To me, it's like, wow, what a difference this is for me as a teacher and also for my students, because they actually love to play. They actually love to practice.
But what is that ingredient that made that shift, do you think, for kids to love learning from you?
Yeah, I think the method that I use is one of the main ingredients. Is it's very, very different. The group lesson environment is also another ingredient that is very different than traditional private lessons, right? So that's another thing. Probably those two things, but also the third one is just me. I lead with so much love and kindness and joy, and I'm
my
patient.
gosh, I can only imagine you're probably like a character, like teaching these pianos.
I love being a character. I'm like sitting down, but I'm like animated.
Yeah. Give us a little taste. Yo, I'm gonna put
well, this is the end. I don't know. I'm just like, guys, come on, you got this. Yeah. I'm not much like that with my adults, but with my kids, it's like, all right, fist bump. Yes. I don't know.
That's cute. Yeah, no, I can totally relate to that. Like with Zumba, what I like is getting that feedback after, like, especially when they come up to you after Zumba class and they're like, like I started off like I couldn't dance or had knee problems, but I've been coming here and my, I've been losing weight. My cholesterol's better, like things like that, where, you're making a difference. Right. And another thing I like about not so much teaching, but also the speaking part, because I love to do public speaking and I'm still trying to like hone that craft. But when sometimes I do well, sometimes it's okay. But the times I do well and I see aha moments in people's eyes, like that's addicting.
Yeah.
That you're teaching something and it's clicking, especially when I teach about social media to like either small businesses or nonprofits where, they're a little lost on how to do social media. And I try to simplify it for them. And they're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But now I have to see them do it. Moving on from that, right? So we were talking about things that we love, because what we really want to accomplish this episode is to have you, the listeners, pay more attention to yourself and loving yourself. So we want to talk more about like how are we loving ourselves right now? How are we showing ourselves love? And maybe there are times where we don't know that we're kind of losing ourselves. How do you get back on track? And so I want to ask Kat, like, I know you're super busy, you have cats, married life, cats, and then your piano, and then your real estate, and all the things that you're doing. You're doing a lot of things. How do you know you love yourself in this process?
Ah, gosh, it's a journey. It's truly up and down. I mean, I don't say this lightly because I don't share this a lot with a lot. I don't share this with a lot of people, really. But there are times where I'm like, I want to, I just want to end it. I just want to, can I just end myself? There are, like, truly, I
Wait,
struggle.
you went dark so fast. Oh, hold on. Like end
Yeah,
yourself or end things?
end myself. Like,
Oh shit.
let
Oh
me just, I don't know, let me just end myself. Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's a lot.
it's a lot. And, coming from a very creative world, I can actually imagine these things. I can actually go there and I can imagine myself doing whatever I need to do to end myself, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm saying it is a process. But a lot of times when I feel myself go into that, right? Go into that world,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm glad I have my husband who reminds me. He reminds me a lot like, okay, if you were to do that, do you realize the devastation that your parents would have? Like, do you realize the
Oh wait,
value
so you
that,
talked to this about Lee? I mean, you
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
this to Lee.
Yes.
I
Yeah, I
don't know
talked to Lee about this. I don't talk to a lot of people about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've really ever talked to other people about this. I talked to this to Lee about this to Lee. He tells me like, do you realize how much value you have to your brother, to your mom and your dad? Just
Mhm.
that, simply just that. And to me, like, and Boogie and Goose. What is Boogie and Goose gonna do? And all of a sudden, I'm like,
Oh my
I can't,
gosh.
I can't, like, I can't, like, okay, I'm gonna, no, I'm gonna turn around. I'm not gonna go into the deep end with my thoughts and all that stuff. And so I think that what happens is when I think about my value and how not just like that, that people love me, but like that my presence is needed for other people to also um, have a good life, have a
Yeah.
joyous life. Like if I think about that, I'm like, wow, like what is mom and dad gonna do if that ever happens? Like they
Mhm.
would be so devastated and depressed, and I don't know what would happen to them. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like, and how selfish would that be for me because I just wanted to give up?
Mhm.
Like that's selfish. You know what I mean? Like I just basically said, I'm done. I just want to give up. Life is hard, so I'm just done. That's so selfish.
I have I have two follow-up questions. What type of pressure do you feel to lead you to have thought that way, to just
Mm.
want to end it? What kind of pressure did that, what kind of pressure did you get to have to think that way?
Honestly, it's a lot of it's almost like it's a lot of emotional but also very physical. There are times where I actually feel like I'm being pinned to the wall and
Mhm.
that like I can't breathe and that I feel like it's just so overwhelming and there's no way out. There are times where I feel that way. And honestly, I think that the times that I feel that the most was is especially when I question my identity a lot, especially when things, and this is probably what we're going to get to in the next episode about my marriage, but especially when things really went south in my marriage, it really made me question my identity because Sweens, before things went south in my marriage, I didn't really have these feelings. I was never really depressed. But like when it went south, I was depressed all the time. I was up and down. My roller coaster is a hell of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It's
I don't
like
want to get on that. Sorry.
yeah, it's
I don't
like
want to get on that ride.
I'm like so happy, right? Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I'm happy, and then it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I think it really boils down to identity. Like when my identity is questioned and I don't know myself, it's like I don't know
But
a way out, but
but
just
it's
to end
you
it.
that's questioning your identity.
Yes, I'm
Uh-huh.
questioning it. Yeah, I'm questioning it because of choices I've made, and
Mhm.
because of the choices I've made, it's made me doubt my, just my validity,
Like
my
who
integrity,
you are,
my
your
who I
morals.
am. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. All these things. Like, am I even like why am I even worth it? Like
Yeah.
why is there value to me? Like all these things, right? So yeah, that's that's what I feel.
Well, no, I mean, we started this conversation with like, how do you know you love yourself? And after listening to that, maybe is it that you know you love yourself because you don't want to do that, you don't want to end yourself? So you must love yourself.
Yeah, I guess I must love myself. And I think when you say how do you love yourself, I think for me, maybe the answer really is truly when I see myself in context with other people, then I love myself more because
sense of belonging.
Because a sense of belonging, but also because if I end myself, I will no longer be of service to other people. I mean, we're all very unique, right? Like, even though, like we said earlier, we're kind of the same but different, right? We're all same. Everyone is kind of the same, but also different, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like if I were to end myself, then my unique set of talents and gifts and the way I handle things and my perspective in the world is no longer able to be shared with others. And there's going to be that one person that's going to need my unique set of perspective that's going to change their life, right? So if I think of myself in context with, wow, if I end myself, I can no longer serve that one person that may need me tomorrow, a year from now, then I realize, wow, I have to start loving myself so I don't keep thinking like this.
and like we said earlier, we're same but different. You know, they say like same difference. I think that's what it means. Because I don't think I've thought of ending myself, but I've thought of what if I died today a lot. And I know you listeners, you might be thinking, you guys are morbid today. No, but I mean, you know, coming from Kat and I, take it a little lightlier because it's just, you know, we're sharing these. Kat's like a creative person, so it's like sometimes there's a little insanity there. So just bear with us.
Seriously.
There is some insanity there somewhere. So only if you get into my head, you'd be like, dang, I don't want to stay there. Anyway, so sometimes I think like, okay, what if I died today? You know, like, oh shoot. Like, I don't know if you know, but on Facebook, you can actually assign someone to take over your account in case you died. So I made that my sister. So I told my sister, I don't know where, it just popped out of nowhere. It just said, if something were to happen to you, who would take over your account? And I put my sister. I don't know. I can't even tell you where to find that feature. It just popped out of nowhere. I'm like, Facebook, are you trying to tell me something? So yeah. So my thoughts now sometimes, because I think of all the movies we watch, I would just be driving and then randomly like, oh my God, what if I didn't hit my brakes and then my car rolled over and then like it would, like that's how I think. Not that I would do it, but like accidents, you know, can happen. I could be in the shower. Oh my God, what if I step out and I slipped and I hit my head and I live by myself and no one's gonna know I've died until they smell my body and my friends can't find me. Anyway.
So dramatic.
Those are the thoughts that are in my head sometimes, okay? Like when I'm sick, I caught COVID, you guys. And I'm like, what if I don't wake up? Who's going to find me? So I had to like call someone. I was like, hey, can you call me in the morning? Make sure I'm up.
Yeah.
Because I live by myself. But anyway, those thoughts go in my head, not so much ending myself. And, you know, I had a friend that had those thoughts too. Because she was depressed with her relationship and all of that. She just want to, you know, I felt like she would harm herself. Like, I don't think Kat would, because I know Kat. I think she just has thoughts. But this other friend, I think
I imagine them a lot. And I'm
like, But this other friend of mine, like, I felt like she was going to hurt herself, but like not in the right frame of mind too. So like the question I asked her, I'm like, don't you want to stay longer to find out how you'll get over this? Because you will get over this. Like, don't you want to stick around and see how life is going to turn out so much better in a year or two? If you end yourself, you're not going to know. So you have to stick around, because I don't want to belittle what you're going through, but I've seen people go through worse and they're still around and they're so much better. So
right.
Yeah, she was like, I mean, I hope that made a difference, but she's still here. So I won't take credit for it though.
It still made a difference, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so I guess we say all of this to, you know, to say that mental health is super important. And if you think about it, like back in the days, like the times of our parents and their parents' parents, like mental health was definitely a taboo and wasn't even a term that we knew back then. But now that we are aware, because like Oprah said, my friend Oprah, she said, when you know better, you do better.
Right.
And that's one of my favorite quotes. And now that we have all this information about how to take care of yourself, how to take care of yourself mentally, you really have to be mentally, somewhat healthy, because I don't think there's an optimal mental health that we all can really achieve. I think like as we live life, our mental health kind of goes through waves, roller coasters and all of that. Hi, Boogie. And so I think that just being aware of what you consume and how it can make a difference for you, how it can make a difference for how you feel and how you think and then how you act, right? So
I'm so sorry. I'm not sure what your view is over there, but if people can't see this, they need to see this. This is my cat.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it, Twins.
Who I drew one time. I still have it somewhere.
What?
I drew Boogie one time.
Oh, you
I still have it somewhere.
I have it on my Instagram.
Yeah. And so yeah, I think that being able to love yourself in different stages of life and different emotions is really important. And let's not start talking about like body images, right? That's I feel like that's a whole lot of conversation. But I think that in the past, what I was saying was our parents and our grandparents, they weren't really aware about mental health and why that is important. And now that we can do better for ourselves, right? So I think like mental health is really important. And why we shared just the morbid parts of our brains with you today and laughing about it is because, hey, we just got to laugh at it. I laugh when I'm nervous. I laugh when I'm mad. I laugh when I get mad first.
All the time.
I just pretty much, I like to laugh. I've had fights with ex-boyfriends where in the middle of a fight and I just laugh because they said something really stupid and I just laugh.
Yep.
And I'm like, did you just fart and we're arguing? Like, I don't know what just happened. and then after I laugh, then we're back to arguing, So we just laugh a lot. So loving yourself. So how are you showing yourself love these days? I mean, we're talking about Valentine's, but you know how they say, like, in order to help someone, like if you're in an airplane, you have to put your mask on first before you put a mask for someone else. Right. And so we have to talk about ourselves and how we love ourselves before we talk about loving someone else.
Need to send money to the Philippines? We've got just the app for you. Download the SendWave app now, available on Google Play or Apple Store. You can send money to your loved ones in the Philippines without paying any fees. The recipient will receive their money through their GCash, any major bank accounts, or to any partnered cash pickup locations. The money transfer is sent quickly within minutes and bank transfers within 1 to 5 hours. That's fast. Download the app today, sign up and select the Philippines flag. When prompted, enter the promo code ALLABROAD in one word to receive a bonus of $10 or close to 500 pesos. If you forget to enter the code in the beginning, you can still do it on the upper right-hand side of the app by clicking on the person icon and finding the promo code field. Remember, the code is ALLABROAD.
So, Kat, how do you show love for yourself?
I think for me, if it's I show myself love by honoring the commitments I've made to myself. If I can honor the commitments that I've made for myself first, then I can make my commitments. I can meet the commitments for other people, if that makes sense. So like for me, what that looks like is, and I see this all the time as an ebb and flow because nobody's perfect, right? For me, if I honor my mornings, it's really, I mean, everybody's so different, right? I love my mornings. So if I honor my mornings and I actually, wake up early, I do my journaling, I read, I pray, I stretch, all of that stuff that fills my vessel and my mind and my emotional health, I can really show up better for the world. you know. So to me, that's it's, I feel like it's as simple as that. I have to honor my commitments. So things like, if I really want to get fit, because I gained some weight, you know, I mean, body image, whatever, right? But if I really want to get fit, is it really a desire that I really want right now? And if it is, then let me honor that desire and let me actually show up to my workout, right? And if I don't show up to my workout, I can't keep berating myself for, I can't keep looking at myself in the mirror and be like, ugh, that thing, or whatever, because I didn't do the work to honor that desire, right? So it's like, and again, like, you know, I'm not saying that, oh, you have to look a certain way. I'm just saying whatever it is that you want to do, right? Whether that's in fitness, health, your work, whatever it is that you want to do, ask yourself, is it really truly something that you desire? And if it really is, then honor your commitment to it.
I love that.
And then see the progress, see that it actually is working because you're honoring that commitment. And if you don't blame yourself, and also don't blame anybody else, and don't be mad about it because you didn't do anything about it.
It's almost saying don't hate yourself for doing something you don't love. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. True. I mean, some people don't love to work out, but over time, you know, they do, and they end up loving it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. Like,
yeah, that made me, I like what you said about desire. If you desire something, and I think that's part of loving yourself, paying attention to your desires and doing something about it and showing up for yourself so you can take actions about your desires. So whatever it is that you desire, you know, go for it. See, how do I, you know, while you were talking earlier, I forgot to mention about mental health too. Like, one of the things that I notice about me, and I probably need to learn more about it so I can create more boundaries for myself in the future, is I think I have a savior's complex. I love to save people. I love to save projects. What, are you saying yep because you know me, or you do the same thing?
I feel you. That's
you do the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to do that too, but I have improved over time. Like, nope, you're gonna have to learn on your own. Bye.
Yeah. Tough love, right?
Yeah.
I totally, I give a lot of tough love too. But I do have that savior complex where I noticed, even in my past relationship, did I get into this because I feel like I could save him, or did I get into this because I liked him? So looking back, I want to say there's at least 2 that I got into a relationship because I feel like I could save them. And it's sad. Here I come to save the day. You remember Mighty Mouse? Mighty Mouse, something here to play. I don't know. And so that's something I have to mentally work on and research. You know, when you know better, you do better. I haven't done a lot of research about it. I just researched enough to know that's what I have. I've diagnosed myself, probably not a good thing, but you know, people always say don't diagnose yourself, but I'm pretty sure that's what I have. Like, there's no doubt about it.
But sometimes it's good. It's self-awareness. It's understanding your weakness, you know.
There's pluses and minuses to being a savior's complex, because having this savior's complex is so much good for work, because I ace work. I'm like a rock star at work because, like, I'm always here coming to save the day. You know, if there's a project and it's failing, I can come in, I can troubleshoot, save it. Like, for what I do in marketing and events, like, troubleshooting is part of it, and maybe that spills over into my love life. I don't know when I started having savior's complex. Maybe I need to go see a therapist. But anyway, so having that savior's complex, I think part of loving myself is knowing how to set boundaries for myself and knowing how to identify whether I'm being a savior or being real. I don't know. I still don't know the fine lines. And so I think just paying attention, and like Kat said, you know, having desire and paying attention to that desire versus paying attention to someone else's desire and doing that because I'm being in a savior's complex mode. Right. So that's why, like, getting back into painting, I feel so good. Watching shows I want to watch feels so good, because I feel like when you're dating someone, you kind of end up watching shows they want to watch and you don't realize that you're watching their show, not your show. I mean, super small, but like, but you know, it means a lot. You know, watching the shows out, you know, doing the things I want to do when I want to do it feels good to me. But then the challenge comes when maybe one day I start dating again and then I have kids, and now you have to do a lot of things on other people's schedule.
Yeah.
And how do you love yourself in that process?
Through that, yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. And I want to ask you guys, for the ones listening and watching this, how do you show love for yourself? Like, we want to know.
Comment down below.
Comment down below. Here we go again. It's a below job.
Lower.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tita Che.
Yeah, shout out to Tita Che. She's actually having a Valentine's concert. I forgot what date, but SoCal Filipinos posted it. We want to know how you show love for yourself, because in this episode, we dove as deep as we could about our mental state, about how we love ourselves. We were vulnerable today. Like, I didn't think we was going to share all those morbid thoughts.
I mean, I had no plans either. I didn't know that.
I just went there. It just went there.
Just the genuine response on my end.
Yeah.
That's how I feel a lot of times.
Yeah. I mean, and I want to tell our viewers, when we do these podcasts, we do our best to be vulnerable, to be open, and have something for you to really think about and really appreciate. So tell us, how do you love yourself? How do you show yourself love? If you're a mom, your grandma, you're single, whatever stage of life you're in. And maybe this is a good reminder for you to show love to yourself if you haven't. Just think about the last week of the last 7 days of your life as you're listening to this. What were some of the things that you've done to show love for yourself? And that's super important, because you have to fill up your cup, and then you give others what's overflowing from your cup.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, any last words, Kat?
I love that. You fill your cup to overflowing. I think, maybe this is just a little bit of an addition to that, filling your cup to overflowing. I used to be like, I need to like fill my cup with all the things I love to do, which is great, right? Like, it's good, because if painting gives you joy, then do more of that. If dancing gives you joy, play music, do more of that, right? But in my journey, I really, truly have realized that if I don't have my relationship with God intact, like when I say intact, I mean, not like saying perfect, but like just a daily conversation with God, like for me personally. So to me, when I fill my cup to overflowing because it's God's love loving me, then I can overflow, because I feel like I can't really muster up enough love for myself. Like, to me, and this may not be, everybody's belief system, but for me, it's like God's love that overflows to me, that allows me to love myself, because I'm a mere human being, and humans are capable of a lot, and we're powerful creatures, right? But to me, there's definitely a higher power that fills my cup so that I can truly give from that cup that's overflowing.
Yes. And I don't know if there are any empaths listening. Do you consider yourself an empath a little bit?
I mean, yeah, a little bit.
I don't know the levels of empaths out there, but I feel like I'm super empath. Like, I can feel feelings before people even express them. And for empaths out there, when you're feeling everyone else's emotion, you have to pay attention and, giving yourself or putting yourself in other situations where you can refresh that, because that's a lot of people's stuff. S-H-I-T that you're absorbing. And so, like Kat said, painting, like right now, and because I'm into a lot of things, it could go into phases. Right now it's painting. Tomorrow it could be, I don't know what, crocheting, who knows?
Talking to your plants. It could be
exactly. And so, my painting is definitely like in front of my plants. So while I'm painting, it's making my mind kind of having a reset, because all I'm thinking about is what I'm going to do with this painting. I'm not thinking about the 10 million other things I have to do. And so it helps me. It's very therapeutic. So anyway, so for all the empaths out there, find that one thing that will help you cleanse. That's the word I was looking for. Cleanse it all away. And so, yeah, thanks, Kat, for being very vulnerable today. You sharing that helped me share mine. And so hopefully the people that are listening felt that genuine sharing that we did today in this episode of Loving
All
Yourself
podcast.
Wait, let's do it again. I hope that people took away really valuable lessons from this episode of Loving Yourself from
the All Abroad podcast.
There you go. So thank you guys. Make sure you tune in, like, subscribe, comment down. Remember, we want to know, how do you love yourself? Comment down below. If you're, don't be a silent listener. Type something, make some noise. Even if you're hating us, it's okay.
Yeah.
We have
type
those
away.
too. Type away. We want to know. So like and subscribe, follow All Abroad Podcast. You can listen to this podcast audio only on any of the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever. We're there. And you can watch this on YouTube as well. If you want to put the face and the voices that you're listening to, we're on YouTube. Just search for All Abroad Podcast. So see you until next episode. Bye.
Bye.
We are heroes and dreamers. We are